Her speech today is going to talk about our Parnell East complex, which at least a few of us are interested in that. I have unexported access over there from some of the work with grid management projects. But she's going to talk to us about the FERC SOC, Standard of Conduct, process for entry and exit and some of the efforts around the Parnell East facility and certain types of employees or outsiders that have a little more requirements than others. So I'm looking forward to this, not only in her goals to inform us, she also wants to use her limit her use of her notes. Speech timer 5 to 7 minutes, please. And I'm going to have to fly out of here as soon as I come back up and give her evaluation, because it's a little bit of a stressful day, which is probably not really salubrious for me to be in a level of stress. But I wanted to do the evaluation, and I wanted to be here. Please welcome Vicki up to the podium.
Good morning. Today I'm going to talk about the FERC Standard of Conduct Visitor Process for Grid Management. I have some background information that will help you understand. FERC stands for Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. SOC, as he said, is Standards of Conduct. April 1st, 2016, Consumers Energy was approved by FERC to be a transmission company, which is how I got my job over there. This brought standards of conduct into play. There are 3 designations. The first one is market function employee. These employees, or contractor as well, engage in a day-to-day basis in marketing functions. Good examples of these is merchant operations and the day-ahead people who offer the generating units into the market. The transmission function employee, that is an employee who engages in transmission functions on a day-to-day basis as well. These are system controllers. That is what my designation is as compliance for grid management. The last one is FERC shared. These are people who generally support the market function employees and the transmission function employees. Examples are company compliance officers, and IT is a good one as well. Not everyone has a FERC designation, only those who need it, and the training is a yearly requirement. There are 4 rules to abide by. The first rule is the non-discrimination rule. This says that Consumers Energy shall treat all of its transmission customers on a not unduly discriminatory basis and apply all of its transmission services in a fair and impartial manner. The second rule is independent functioning rule. This basically means that transmission function employees and market function employees need to be in separate work areas. The example for that, merchant operations is on the 3rd floor in this building, and system control is over in Parnell East. Neutral or shared employees may work in the same areas as the transmission function employees or the market function employees, but they cannot perform transmission or marketing functions. Transmission function employees are also prohibited from performing market function activities, as well as market function employees cannot perform transmission function activities. The 3rd rule is the transparency rule. This deals with non-public transmission function information that has been disclosed to any market function employee. If a disclosure happens, Consumers Energy has to immediately post that information to our Standards of Conduct internet website. This gives access to all of the transmission customers the information that was disclosed. The last rule, and perhaps the most important rule, is the no conduit rule. Consumers Energy and its affiliate employees and contractors are prohibited from disclosing non-public transmission function information to market function employees. Non-public transmission function information could be a line outage, could be a line trip, anything. A lot of it's real-time stuff. All Consumers Energy employees and contractors are subject to the no conduit rule. Grid management has a visitor process that I helped develop along with people in the department that helped fine-tune it. The purpose of this process is to maintain compliance with FERC standards of conduct. Market function employees are not allowed in the control center or in any other transmission function area unless in case of an emergency, and that is detailed in the FERC SOC procedure. I have handed out a handout that has FERC links on there for you, and on the back is the briefing form that I will be talking about. When someone with unescorted access is coming to Parnell East, the first thing I do is cross-check the name of the visitor with the FERC designation list. This can be found under iConnect. Then you go to My Tasks, Toolbox, More Links, and then on the right-hand side there is the FERC SOC procedure and the FERC SOC designation list. Everyone can access this procedure and see the designations. Remember though, only those who have a designation are on that list, which means you can have the FERC training but not be on the list. If there's a designation and training, I will review the FERC SOC points with the person, but they do not have to sign the briefing form. If there is no designation, I have them read the procedure, review the briefing points acknowledge form with them, and if there are no questions, I have them sign the briefing points acknowledge form. I have put my family through this process when they visited. I then sign them into the electronic log and then escort them wherever we're going. Also, the briefing points acknowledge form I keep track of, and that form should either go in my mail slot, scan or email it to me, or put it through office mail. When the visit is over, make sure to sign them out of the electronic log, as this is a SIP compliance issue. A FERC visitor process, job aid, and associated paperwork is located in the mailroom of Parnell East. Thank you.
That will be me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good job.
Thank you.
Right now, if we could take a minute to do our evaluation for Vicky on the forms provided. So Vicky, how long have you been doing this?
Basically since April 1st of 2016. We had to come up with the process before we actually, before it came into play.
So we used to have transmission assets and then we sold them. And then in 2015, was it when we?
October 1st of 2015, we became transmission operator, and then April 1st of 2016, FERC approved us to be a transmission owner.
Oh, okay. So that will make us a fully integrated.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's how I got my job over there.
Good.